Well, Frank's going to make a move on this one. It's gone. Home run, Clemente. And the Pirates 2, the Orioles nothing.
Here's Lemieux. The center penalty coming up. Look at Lemieux. Oh my goodness. What a goal. What a goal. Lemieux. Oh baby.
Welcome to another live Pittsburgh Sports Line in the BPTV studio. This is our Christmas Eve show, hence the red shirt. Merry Christmas to everybody that's celebrating. Happy Hanukkah and Happy New Year, because this is our last show of 2019. Chip Hayner can't make it. Smoking Jim Frazier's here to pick up the slack and tell you whatever you want to hear and don't want to hear. We'll do that. It's 101 days from my kidney transplant. I'm doing well, feeling great. So's my son. He's been back to work for over 3 weeks. We're both blessed in our recoveries. Thanks for all your concerns and prayers. We appreciate all that. And I'm just on the road to feeling better every day by day. So it's been a great experience that I've had, a life-changing event, and it'll help me in the years coming up. So I appreciate it. Just wanted to share that with you. We got a lot of sports to talk about with me and Smoking Jim. You can hear us on Comcast 7 only in Bethel Park. You can hear us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford, and all points in between. It's great to hear people say they watch us every week on Verizon 32, so thank you. Our Facebook page, 6,876 likes. Thank you very much. We appreciate all the likes and watching all of our shows. We appreciate that too, so thank you very much. And we're very proud of that. And I got some promos here. Let me get them out and start right off the bat with thanks to Frank Fanero of Olive Oil's Pizzeria, 412-831-1900. I met his daughter and 2 sons there tonight. They're working at the pizza shop. Frank was there, a couple good helpers there. Give them a call. All their stuff is fresh. People love the products that they put out. It's just great stuff. We appreciate it too. Thanks again, Frank. Next up, the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. Poor Joey didn't make it to his 10th birthday. He's been dead for 5 years. It's very sad. They do different special events throughout the area in Bethel Park and surrounding areas. They've raised over $100,000 that they've donated to the doctors to try to find a cure of this dreaded brain cancer that's a death sentence for these kids. So you can donate as little as $1, donate your time, help with different fundraisers. Check it out. Next up, Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center. They're at 2600 South Park Road. They do a lot of great things. They have a schoolhouse, I think it was built in 1905. They just had the bell that was at Bethel Park's high school reinstated on the original school in Bethel Park. It's on their roof now. They got a brand new roof, looks great. Got a lot of money they raised towards their $1 million project to refurbish the whole school. And they have my favorite tea shop, Reginald's Coffee. They provide me with loose leaf green tea. I haven't been there in a couple weeks, but in the beginning of the year, I'm going to stop back, or maybe next week, I'll stop up there, get a pot of my green tea. So check that place out, Reginald's Coffee, 2600 South Park Road. Next up, I'm a trustee on the board of the Bethel Park Community Foundation. They have grant money for you from $100 to $5,000. Check it out. Go to bpcf.org, get an application, apply for money for your group and the great things they're doing in Bethel Park. They've given out almost $900-some thousand in 25 years. So they put the money out there. They got scholarships for kids in high school, and they do a lot of great things in the community. Check it out, the Bethel Park Community Foundation, bpcf.org. Next, Dave Cable likes to have a little fun at my expense. Here I am on Uncle Sam. Tell them Uncle Al sent you. Al Levine, the talking machine, wants you for BPTV. We got Steve here who's been a volunteer for at least 3 years. He's moving on to Point Park, so this may be his last show that he's doing the audio and video. Look at how great this looks. You can call it 412-831-3304. We'll have a spot open since Steve won't be here on Tuesday nights for a while. Again, he'll be at Point Park College trying to be an accountant and doing some filming and other projects there, so check it out. Again, give Dave Cable a call, 412-831-3304. Now we have a sponsor for our What's on Your Mind, Skeets Lewandowski of Skeets Service Station, right in Finleyville. Red, white, and blue station. They work on anything and everything that runs on gas. They have a Pittsburgh drive shaft company. They make axles for cars and trucks. They have a forge. They make hooks and knives for Smoking Jim to hang all his sweetie pictures up. And you can call them at 724-348-4715. Tell them Al Levine, the talking machine, said you do a great job on anything that runs on gas. Boats, tractors, weed whackers, trucks, cars, you name it. And he even has 2 raccoons that Smoking Jim has seen. He asked me if I ever saw raccoons. I can tell a story when I was a kid in Greentree. The Gibellino family lived 2 doors up from me, and their dad was a hunter, and he brought home a raccoon. It was sort of a baby raccoon, and they kept it in a cage, and we all were feeding it and having fun with it. It was a pretty nice thing. And wouldn't you know, he donated it to the Pittsburgh Zoo. Wow. So our families had to take a trip to the zoo. I forget what we called the raccoon now, because that's been a long time ago, probably over 50 plus years ago. But we went down, Smoking Jim, to see the raccoon and feed him. Wow. And the raccoon was our friend. It? Yeah, we pointed him right out. Wow. Yeah, we saw him. We had a great time. And it was fun having a raccoon in the neighborhood who become famous at the Pittsburgh Zoo. How cool is that? So I don't just talk sports. We got to mix it up with some things. But we're going to start some sports right now with Smoking Jim Frazier. What's on your mind, Smoking Jim Frazier?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
here it is.
You got to see Levine back in my high school quarterback option days.
What year was that? Just tell them. They keep guessing your age. I tell them you're not 35 anymore.
But I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine, what's on my mind is I actually did a little homework. Rookie of the year, Steve Fisher would be proud of me.
Whoa.
But, Mason Rudolph's 2 best games came when he came off the bench. First one when Ben got hurt.
Yeah.
He came off the bench against Seattle. He threw 2 touchdowns and had a 94.2 quarterback rating. His next best game was last week when he entered the game against the New York Jets when Duck got hurt. He passed for a quick 129 yards.
Duck didn't get hurt.
Well, Duck got benched.
Yeah, unlike you said that he's the greatest young quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
He got benched.
Yeah, he got benched, and Rudolph passed for 129 yards and a touchdown and a quarterback rating of 104.
And then he got hurt.
Did a little homework on the Duck. The Duck's best game came when he came off the bench against the Cincinnati Bengals. He threw for 118 yards and a touchdown and a quarterback rating of a whopping 115. Which tops anybody this season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the Steelers don't have a quarterback coach this year. Randy Fichtner is the quarterback destroyer, what I call him. He's a quarterback killer. If you look at it, every time Randy Fichtner gets a hold of these young quarterbacks and put his game plan on, it's confusing these guys. Let them go out and rip it. It's not that hard to play. Randy Fichtner has never been a professional football coordinator before. His first professional football job is with the Pittsburgh Steelers. All he's been is Ben's coffee boy.
Yeah.
Ben was a true offensive coordinator. So the Pittsburgh Steelers in the future need to get rid of Big Ben and his coffee boy Randy Fichtner, bring in a quarterback coach and an offensive coordinator, and let the games of duck begin. And that's what's on my mind.
Hold on a second. You think we're all right in the quarterback position?
Man, we are set for years with the duck. And
This
the Duck-
quote will live in infamy.
And I guarantee you, the Duck's a tough kid from Alabama. He's a hunter. And if he hurt his left shoulder, he'd have still played.
Wow.
And that's what's on my mind. He's like a Brett Favre. They don't come out of the game for
Wow.
left shoulder. All you need is the right arm.
Wow.
What do you need the left shoulder for?
Smoking Jim has spoken. I can't wait to go back next year when Duck's not on the team. I'll feel bad, but he may not make it. Thank you.
It may be just like when Brett wasn't on Atlanta Falcons team and it took him 20 years to get over trading Brett Favre.
Yeah.
So wherever the Duck goes, he's going to be a star. It don't have to be here. Pittsburgh can
Smoking
make
Jim,
a mistake.
I hate to put the kibosh to your thinking, but nobody else drafted Duck. Nobody even let them on their team. Then they released them, and guess what? Nobody even hinted that they wanted or liked him. Nobody. So we took him back.
Do you know Warren Moon didn't get drafted? That's why he had to go to the CFL. No NFL team thought he could play in the league. He's
Well, I
in the
like
Hall of
your
Fame.
theory that Duck should go to the CFL. I like that.
Kurt Warner never got drafted. He's in the
Arena
NFL.
football.
No,
He was a stock boy.
no, he was a stock boy. He never played.
I thought he played arena
no,
football.
No, that was
Yeah.
Tommy Maddox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Thanks, Smoking Jim.
so
I'm almost sure that Warner was playing
maybe you're
somewhere.
right. I forget. Maybe the more you say it, you might be right about Kurt Warner playing in arena football league.
Because he had this short, quick release.
Yeah, after Green Bay cut him, he went to arena football league.
Thank
You're
you. I
right.
knew it
Good
would
job.
come back. That's CT. I got to massage the brain a little bit. Thanks for watching, folks. Thank
Ain't
you.
that something?
Everything's like a new experience for Smoking Jim Frazier. Thank you, Smoking Jim. What's on my mind is the Steelers. Everybody was high on the Duck. Then everybody got quiet. Then I hear everybody on the talk shows talking poorly about Duck. They're off the bandwagon. They're off the bar stool, not sitting there drinking with the Duck. They're not wearing the Duck shirts. All those people want full price for those Duck shirts. I think they'll be down to $5 by the next week or so. But like I told Smoking Jim the night before the game, when he told me Ducks 3-1, that's like 12-4. I said, what happens if he loses tomorrow? I rest my case. They didn't look good on offense, and even the NFL people on different stations, ESPN, were talking about the lack of offense that the Steelers had. No running game, no passing game, 2 hurt quarterbacks, flip-flopping, and no results. But T.J. Watt and the defense looked great. T.J. Watt, Smoking Jim called him the greatest linebacker the Steelers ever had after his first week in the NFL. I tended to question that. I said, give him some time. Well, 3 years, I'm thinking he's moving up the list. He may be third all time right now. So we'll see what happens. If he gets Defensive Player of the Year, he may move up again. So we'll see, Smoking Jim. That's what's on my mind. We'll be back with some fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Hi, Bethel Park. Remember me? My name is Jason Planitzer. I was the host of a little show here. You may have seen it. It was called The Jason Planitzer Show.
What would you say your experience at BPTV, how has that had an impact on your life?
I found my voice. I learned how to be funny. I learned how to create things. I learned how to collaborate with people here. I developed an interest in film and comedy and making videos. It stuck with me. It continued through my life. I got into working on motion pictures. I now I'll produce small videos. I'll work with producers on commercials, television projects, feature films. I scout locations on TV shows and movies, which involves me reading scripts, finding the locations that need to be shot, and collaborating with the director and production designer to find the perfect spot. It all started at BPTV for me.
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Thanks, Rookie of the Year, Steve Fisher. And forgive me for all the Kurt Warner fans that knew about him stocking shelves and playing in the Arena Football League with that quick release.
Yeah,
But
that's
hey,
all right.
So it's still a good comparison.
Yeah. I'm not seeing it, but I understand. Maybe if the Duck goes to Arena Football or CFL.
That's true. What's on my mind is 1983 and 84. 1983, Terry Bradshaw was really coming into his own. He was in the prime of his career. Football, with all the rule changes and all the weapons he had, a wide receiver and a super offense, he was just having fun out there. He got injured and left the Steelers with a roster of just Cliff Stout and Mark Malone. Terry Bradshaw couldn't play in 1984. Unfortunately for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Cliff Stout went to the USFL in 84, and the Pittsburgh Steelers on their roster had Mark Malone and Scott Campbell and some quarterbacks like that. And that just brings me up to today's football, where the Pittsburgh Steelers is in a similar situation. They also had David Woodley on that team from the Miami Dolphins.
Saying ain't so.
Pittsburgh Steelers is in a similar situation. I think sometimes one of the all-time greatest coaches and offensive gurus, and a friend of mine, Bruce Arians, used to always say, no risk it, no biscuit.
What does that mean?
That means you got to have the guts to take a chance. The Pittsburgh Steelers can free up $34 million by getting rid of Big Ben, for sure Hall of Famer, who I think should have been one of the top 25 quarterbacks of all time. He should have been on that list ahead of Troy Aikman and some others. But I think he's going to have a noodle arm when he comes back. Who knows at 38 if he can come back from that type of surgery. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I think if they get rid of Big Ben, they can surround the new quarterback Duck with some people. Another thing that the Pittsburgh Steelers have to do, and I've been saying this all season long, is it is a shame that they lost Mike Munchak, the greatest offensive line coach of all time. There's nothing that changed on the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line other than Mike Munchak leaving and the Pittsburgh Steelers hiring his coffee boy that had no experience and no credentials to run an offensive line. He can't make adjustments. The Pittsburgh Steelers got 2 All-Pro guys voted to the Pro Bowl this year in DeCastro and Pouncey. How can you got the worst rushing team in the NFL, the worst passing team in the NFL, the worst offense in the NFL, and you have 2 of your linemen, 2 out of your 5 linemen going to the Pro Bowl. That's a complete joke. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, in my opinion, should get rid of Big Ben, get rid of the offensive coordinator, maybe hire some of the coaches from Sanford. Bringing in is duck time now. And don't make the same mistake that the Pittsburgh Steelers made in '83 when they lost their last Hall of Famer, Terry Bradshaw. They wasn't prepared. You're prepared now. You got the duck in place. Get rid of Big Ben, 38 years old. Save $34 million against the salary cap, and you may even be able to trade and get something for him. And that's the fiction, in fact, from Smoking Jim's Almanac, and get an offensive line coach in here.
Smoking Jim, I don't know if you'll save the full $34 million because they break that down a little bit. So it may cost $28 million against the cap. They may not save as much as you're saying. Just there are certain rules, and they're always juggling that cap. But hey, they've always talked about the great linemen we have in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they be in the Pro Bowl even if they stink at running and passing?
What a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But hey, that's how it is.
Yeah.
What can you do? Thank you, Smoking Jim Frazier. On location. Come join us, 930 Brookline Boulevard, Olive Oil's Pizzeria and more in Brookline. Frank Fanero's the owner, has great food, great Italian food, as you hear us talk about each week. Pizzas, you name it, salads, dinners, all kind of good things there. He'll have that available that night. We got some great guests. We went to some great Muay Thai fights. We have Warren Stout coming as a guest and a couple of his coaches and trainers, Andy Anderson and another guy named Will. So they're going to be out there with us. I got a few more guests coming. So
I don't mean to interrupt you. Stout is actually a person.
Yeah.
Okay, I met Warren. I didn't put the two and two together. Okay.
Yeah, they named the business after him.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think he has a brother there too.
Okay.
It's sort of like the family Frazier. When you go back in history, Smoking Jim said his dad's normally from North Carolina.
South Carolina.
And he said Joe Frazier's family lived 30 miles away.
Yep.
So Smoking Jim might actually be a relative of Smoking Joe. Because everybody, once I introduce Smoking Jim, they always ask me next week, they go, how's Smoking Joe? I go, he's fine. And you can see his statue in Philadelphia.
You can hear him on the radio.
Yeah, but Smoking Jim, those guests will be there, and I'll ask him his name. And when he tells us Stout,
Wow.
then you'll know.
I had no idea.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that later. But yeah, that's what happens. And we're looking at trying to do a fundraiser for 2020. Judge Arnone and I are working on it. We're looking for a local restaurant to do it at. So we'll see what we come up with. So stay tuned for that.
Want Bill Neal to help?
No, I prefer not to. He closed down Sugar and Smoke after they did one event there. Heard it was a great event. Nobody made any money, and they shut the place down. It's sad but true. I will not accept any help, but thank you very much. If you have any suggestions, just let us know. We appreciate that. You can contact me on Facebook. Go to Pittsburgh Sports Line and mention that. Want to shout out to, whoa, Jono. What? This is like live TV. We got Jono's painting here. We're back in business. There we go. Yeah, we got the right angle. Look at that, Three Rivers Stadium, all the championships that were won there. I'm honored to have his painting here. Thank you, Jono. We appreciate that. And we'll be back with some Steeler talk. From a very young age, I was exposed to sports in a great way. My uncle was on the first pro basketball team in Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Ironmen, And my dad, of course, that was my hero. He was a basketball referee for over 30 years. Just been a passion in my life. And as I got older, I found out about horses, and I ended up owning a stable. And I was asked to be on a sports show with Roger Houston called the Meadows Racing Network. And when we were done, I said, boy, that'd be something great. Maybe someday I could have a TV show. Back in 2011, I had a conversation with some friends about sports that piqued my interest in how could we start a sports talk show on TV? Well, I found out I could go to public access TV in Bethel Park and I'd be able to produce my own sports talk TV show. The great thing about doing 2 sports talk shows on BPTV is I can share my passion about sports with thousands of people every week. If you are passionate about something that you would like to share with the community, I encourage you to come to BPTV and produce a show like I do. I'm Al Levine, volunteer producer of Pittsburgh Sportsline on BPTV.
BPTV. Come volunteer. If it wasn't fun, I wouldn't be here. BPTV. Come on in, make a show. It's still fun after all these years.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for not changing that dial. We appreciate you. And we're glad we could do our last show of 2019, the Christmas Eve Pittsburgh Sportsline TV show. Smokin' Jim and I are honored to be doing over 600 some TV shows the last years. I got a streak, haven't missed one. Even missed only 1 week after my kidney transplant, so I'm still holding in there strong. And we're going to talk some Steelers. Like Smokin' Jim, I was disappointed with the Steeler performance. I know you were pumped up because somehow they did good.
Well, I'm never disappointed because you always says any NFL team can beat you. Don't forget the Jets came into the game winning 4 out of their last 6, now 5 out of the last 7. So the Jets is hot. The Jets got a tremendous defense.
Yes,
and,
they do.
They outcoached us, which is not unusual. We don't have much of a coaching staff. And offensively, Sam Darnold,
he was seeing ghosts.
He just made enough plays.
He was seeing ghosts because every once in a while he throws that ball 10 yards over their head. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
And he's a first-round draft choice, and he's learning. Everybody gets on Duck, and Duck's outplaying all these young guys like the kid for Cleveland Browns. What's his name? Baker Mayfield. He's outplaying Tyler Murray.
Since you mentioned Cleveland, they were supposed to win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, and then don't forget before the season I said that the Baltimore Colts was going to be tough.
I can't find that. I can't find that on the
I'll
tape.
I'll find it for you.
I can't find that on the tape. All I kept seeing is Cleveland Browns where and how good they are on paper, and they're going to do well.
I really thought it would come down between Cleveland and Baltimore to go to the Super Bowl. I thought that Baltimore was a team that the NFL is not used to a team running the football. They had no idea they'd do as well as they're doing. But I knew they'd be a problem because nobody bloodies anybody's nose anymore in the National Football League, and that's what Baltimore does.
Good point. But one other thing, I hate to pick on you, but you make it easy because you say these outrageous things. I forget, who was that player that you said was the greatest?
Watt?
No, the greatest of all time linebacker. It was your favorite. I know you got CTE. He was your favorite linebacker of all time, and he played for Baltimore. Try to think back.
You mean Oh, Ray Lewis.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
had said,
yeah,
you
that's
had made
true.
this statement
That's
so many
true.
times on the air.
Greatest football player
In
of
your
all time.
mind, in your mind,
No, greatest football player
in
of
your
all
mind,
time.
in your mind,
Huh?
in your mind,
Can
and
you
you
name
said,
somebody greater
yeah, plenty of them,
than Ray Lewis?
plenty of them.
From
No
a leadership
problem.
standpoint. You got to add that, factor that in. That's why I say football player.
Lawrence
Because
Taylor,
Lawrence Taylor wasn't much of a leader.
I don't care. He led by example.
He was crazy, but
So
look at
he
the
was
stuff he did in
coked
the
up and
offseason.
whatever else. He was knocking people
How many
around.
people
He
around
changed
him-
the sport.
How many people around him did he make better?
Everybody, the whole team looked
No.
great.
Well, when he was sleeping in meetings, when he was high up on cocaine,
Yeah.
you know,
He got on the field, and he outplayed everybody. They couldn't block him.
Yeah, he was great. It was like Jim Brown. Jim Brown wasn't much of a leader, but he was a great football player. Ray Lewis is the
He
best
averaged
football
104
player.
yards a game his whole career.
Huh?
James Brown. Jimmy Brown
Yeah.
averaged
He
104
was a
yards.
great individual player, but he wasn't much of a leader. He didn't speak to nobody. The coach used to always have to say, the most important Brown on this team is Paul Brown. Because Jim Brown wouldn't even speak to the coaches.
Well, because Paul Brown was a genius with how he set up the
He
teams.
was. But Ray Lewis made everybody. Those Baltimore Raven teams that won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, but here's
weren't
where
that good.
here's where I go back. You made the statement when he was gone that they'll never have
Never.
a good
I did say
defense
that. I did
ever.
say
Now I
that.
know you can remember
Yeah,
that.
I did say that. Look, 7
Now
years
they got
later,
one of the best defenses
7 years-
around.
7 years later, I was wrong.
And
I
they
was
even
wrong
got
about
rid of
Harbaugh.
Suggs.
Yep. I
They-
was wrong about John Harbaugh.
You
was a
said they
great
should have
coach.
got rid of him.
Hey, sure enough.
And here he gambled on the running game. What are they averaging?
gambled on-
280
He
yards a
gambled on
game.
Lamar Jackson
Yeah.
and saved his job.
He
and,
did.
and it proves how great a coach John Harbaugh. I'll admit when I'm not 100%. I'm only right 97% of the time.
Well, you used to say, till I pointed this out, you're 100% right.
No, always 97.
No, you've been.
97 on a good
It's
year.
less-
98.
It's less than that. We'll check the tapes. We'll go back and look. Because that
yeah, they
Cleveland,
proved- they
that
proved me
Cleveland nonsense was
Yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah,
That you had earlier in the year. We couldn't talk to you because you were so arrogant about Cleveland.
And on paper,
Yeah, but then what about their coaches?
yeah, you're right. You said it all along.
I know. I
Whoever
said
thought their coach would have been that bad? Yeah.
because they're Cleveland.
They're Cleveland.
Their
Well, you
owner,
called it.
look at all the coaches they bring out there.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Either the owner undermines them or the coaches undermine themselves.
I like them to finish out strong and win the last game.
Oh, really?
Going off season with some.
Well, bet the house on them.
No, I already lost a couple weeks
Bet
ago
another
when
house.
they played Arizona.
You already-
Arizona got me 2 weeks in a row. They got me against Cleveland, and they killed me against Seattle.
Folks, if you want to bet, just do the opposite of smoking Jim Frazier.
I've been hot,
Where?
but all that.
You might have been hot with the heat on.
I should when I win a lot, I should just play a little bit. But I put it all. I put all my chips on. How could Wouldn't you?
No.
Seattle could never lose
I'd walk
to Arizona
away.
at Seattle.
Put it like this.
Maybe if they had Marshawn Lynch.
If I won $251 and spent $250, I'd walk away. If I walked away with $1 extra, I'd walk away.
It's in my blood.
I know. Well, you need new blood now. I got good blood. They take it every week. They just took it today. It's all good.
I'm a college basketball. I'm great in college basketball.
Guess what? Just write it all down, and then I'll scope it out and see how many you lost. 1 out of every 2. 1 out, two out of two out of every 3. You can't win.
no money like that.
No, it's hard. Let me hold the $250 a week. Give me that $250 now. I'll give it back to you next week. No, but that's how crazy it gets. No doubt. But yeah, Steelers, they need some help. What are they going to do in the draft? What are your thoughts there? What do they got to do?
They don't have a draft. They gave away the first
So
round
what?
draft
They never
choice.
pick a good pick, according to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
we got all these number 1 guys on the defense.
Next week, next time we have a show in 2 weeks,
January 7th.
I have a running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers that should be there in the second round. Nobody knows about this guy.
Don't tell anybody.
He's a brother, but not a brittle brother. And I tell you what, he has a lot of the things I've seen in Christian Okoye. This guy has.
Wow, there's a name.
But I think he has a little bit more football experience. And this guy is destined to be a superstar in the National Football League. And he'll work real well with Duck.
Smoking Jim, I honestly don't think Duck will be back.
Well, this brother comes from where they hunt with a spear, brother. So it'll be no problem getting them ducks. Him, James Washington, and the Duck will be going out there, brother.
Smoking Jim.
One will have a boomerang.
Smoking
The other
Jim.
will have a BB gun. The other will have a spear, brother.
You're getting
I'm
too
good
crazy.
eating.
Put it like this: when they go over and evaluate the roster, you may just have Mason Rudolph here and no Duck.
Mason's gone, man.
Once he heals up, he'll be a horse.
Huh?
6'5", 235. He got all the tools.
Hey, it's hard. 80% of the team is black, and they already know what he said.
What did he say?
According to all-pro player for the Cleveland Browns.
Miles Garrett.
Yeah, he dropped the
He did not.
N-word.
They had no witnesses around there that even heard that. He just said that to
It's
try to
his
get out
word-
of trouble.
It's his word against Mason's. Where you think the brothers is going to side with, brother?
They all know he lied. Guess what? You're too late.
I don't think he would lie with something like
Yes,
that.
he would. Yes, he would. Just like you thought you were truthful on Cleveland. You said, why would I lie? Because the paper lies. No, we'll see what happens. And you're right about James Conner being a brittle brother, because now he hurt his quad.
Yeah,
And Tomlin doesn't even know the severity of the injury.
yeah, that's a shame, too.
And he was looking good.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yeah. So they should check with me before.
I know.
And get this.
Well, you're in
African.
the war room. They got your number. They got to call you
Well, I
up
wasn't
more
there
often.
last year. I was in the hospital.
Well, I
So
understand that.
I was waiting for my phone to ring.
It never rang.
They went on their own last year. Look where they got them.
Wow. You may have a point there, Smoking Jim. Definitely. Well, you brought up about Stout Promotions and the Stout brothers who are going to be guests on the show.
Can't wait.
We went to South Point. Matter of fact, folks, we had a little road trip, went to Peters Township High School, been there for years.
Wow.
Smoking Jim goes, how'd they name it? Well, it's named after Peters Township. It even says Peters Township High School right on the entrance. But we drove into the parking lot. I said, you want to go up to the school? He goes, no, I'm good. So we went to South Point, saw some great Muay Thai fights for the first time ever that we saw Muay Thai fights. So it was a great night of fights, nice crowd there.
We learned a few rules.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No elbows, just kickboxing and punching.
Yeah, and during intermission, we almost seen a fight.
Well, we saw some action there. We don't know what the story is, but we just say, why can't we all get along? So even though I disagree with Smoking Jim on 80% of what he says, he's right 97% of the time. So that means I'm wrong. I'm wrong on a few things. I can do the math, but I don't mind being wrong according to Smoking Jim, because I think that's actually a win. Because if I disagree with them, that means I'm not losing money. So I think we got that figured out. But we saw some great fights. We saw a guest on our show fight her first fight, Raven.
Beautiful.
18-year-old young lady, 6 months. She's only been training. She was a little raw. Looked rough in the first round, second round, third round. She did much better. My best friend, Jamie Chesney, was in the corner along with Mike Willis, great friend of ours too, and a guest on our show. They coached her up the best they could. Jamie was on fire as a coach, telling her to keep her chin down, start punching, get the kicks in, and gave her some great guidance. So it was a great debut. And look for her in the future. Raven will do better for sure.
I'm looking to go on a few more of the Muay Thai events. I tell you what, I'm a big fan because, you know, it looks like a lot of kickboxing, and I love kickboxing, but also the different 6 points that they can hit you with, and I want to see more elbows.
We're not going to see it in Pennsylvania, though. They say they do more of the kickboxing, boxing with that.
Yeah.
So we're going to miss out on that, buddy, because we didn't see much. We did see one guy, A.J. Wilkins, do a nice move with his elbows and drop the guy.
Yes.
He lifted him up with the elbows.
Yes.
So that was quite a performance, and I'm glad Chip Snyder got to give us the insights.
He's the man.
He's a great referee, and he controls what goes on in that cage and ring.
He does every fight by himself. That's amazing. But Chip and I was talking briefly afterwards, and I agree with Chip. Back in the day, in boxing and other combat sports, the referees had a vote in the judging. There used to be 2 judges and a referee, because the referee's in there. And I always said that I couldn't be a referee, especially in boxing, because there's 4 words that you never hear somebody say if I'm a referee. I could have continued. Because if you get up before 10, you're continuing, brother. If they don't throw in a towel, you will not, ain't nobody going to say the referee shouldn't have stopped it. You're right.
Wow.
Because that ain't never going to happen, brother.
I don't know. It's all about the safety of the kids. Jimmy Savetic taught us that.
Well, that's why the corner has a towel. The corner should know their fighter better than me.
Oh,
if he gets up before 10.
Smoking Jim, we've been to fights many a time. And how many times have I gone to you and you've gone to me? What is that corner seeing?
Yeah.
And we saw it again. They were telling the one guy, keep doing what you're doing. And he was getting crushed.
Yeah.
We're not even going to mention that.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a chance. And he ended up losing the unanimous decision.
That's true. And as a referee, I'll never waste time by asking you, are you okay? Because by getting up before 10, you have already answered that. Let's go.
Smoking Jim, I got to add one caveat to that. You'll never be a referee.
That's true.
Because they can't ask you when you give them answers like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if you're honest like you are, and you're right 97% of the time, you're out. They aren't going to even put you in. No doubt about it. No, it's shocking. But, yeah, we had a great time, met some different people and photographers, and even met a young lady that was on your show.
Yes, yeah.
Jody Velasquez had introduced you, and you put her on the show, and she said she had a great time. Yeah. I told her come up and take a photo, and she goes, I know the guy next to you. I was on his show. And I'm like, who? Smoking Jim Frazier.
What a small world, huh?
It's unbelievable. I had to be the catalyst with that.
Yeah, thanks.
Definitely.
Beautiful young lady, very intelligent, and love Muay Thai, and she's an executive for a bank downtown.
Yeah. She used her education, and she's smart.
She got good height, too. She
plays volleyball.
Yeah, volleyball. She was a collegiate volleyball player. And
at Pitt.
At the University of Pittsburgh, where you see the volleyball team, I think, was ranked #1 for a long time.
They're doing well.
Then they choked. They got beat. They got knocked out early.
That happens.
They got upset at home.
It can happen. It can happen to anybody. Even Gateway, I don't see them winning the WPIAL this year.
WPIAL.
Yeah, they didn't win that.
No, they did.
No,
they won
didn't.
the WPIAL. They beat Peters for the championship.
They won locally, but they didn't win statewide.
Oh, you state.
Yeah, state, sorry.
At Gateway, the WPIAL is what we care about. We don't care about. We already know we're the best of the state. You know?
So you don't care if you won't win it. Okay.
Next year they'll be even better.
Really?
Yeah. They'll win the state next year.
Good.
Yeah.
Look for Smoking Jim at Gateway High School sitting on the bench there. He's in the stands every week. You can't miss him. He bleeds Gateway all day long. Definitely. Hey, what shows do you got going on? What'd you end the season with? Any couple shows? Or?
Let me see. I think we did a boxing show. Because
who were you with?
I was with Luther Dupree, Claudio Rilsano.
Yeah, I thought I heard you talking about that.
Yeah, and Little Z.
Get on.
Zach Brenner. and they still don't believe that Anthony Joshua, who now holds 3 belts after he beat Andy Ruiz,
Yeah.
who I compare him to Cassius Clay.
Wow.
They're still a little stubborn. They still think that
Well, they don't realize you're 97% right.
97% right. And I won money on Anthony Joshua, a lot of money that I
How much did you
individually
give back
lost.
the next day?
Yeah, I eventually gave it all back, but
You got to hold it, buddy.
with the NFL upsets. But they keep wanting to be this Wilder fan, which I'm predicting
Yeah.
that Wilder will lose his title to Fury,
Get on.
Tyson Fury. Nobody really beats a gypsy. Them gypsies is tough. You ever study up on them gypsies?
Yeah.
Hey, you know
I might have some gypsy blood.
You
My
might-
grandmother
yeah,
come from
I believe
Hungary.
it. I believe it.
Gypsies were around in
Tough,
Hungary.
man, tough. And I'm betting on the gypsy. I thought he won the first fight, but they called it a draw.
Wow.
So now they're fighting again in February. I'm predicting that Tyson Fury take him to school. Again, this guy can box.
Yeah.
If he was black, he'd get more credit. But because he's white, they say he's unorthodox. He's this or that. And he's a great boxer. He's 6'9".
Wow.
With the sweet sign skills, and he took Wilder to school. I think he'll take him to school again.
And get the W.
Forget all this reverse racism. I think the best thing for boxing is for Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua to fight. Anthony Joshua in his last fight fought in Saudi Arabia. He made $80 million.
Wow.
And
Those Saudis have some money.
Andy Ruiz made $11 million.
That much.
So that's the kind of thing. Now, when Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury get together, they'll fill out a 200,000-seat arena. They'll both make about $100 million. There's no money in fighting Wilder.
Really?
Wilder is big in Alabama and down south. I don't think he has a passport to leave the country. He's never been outside the country. There's no money. Where are you going to fight, in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
And split $20 million apiece? There ain't no money.
They can make it.
Yeah, when these guys are fighting in the UK in soccer stadiums and filling up a 120,000-seat stadium, why would they want to fight in a 16,000-seat arena in America?
I don't know.
They're world champions. That's what Muhammad Ali was and Cassius Clay was. He was a world champion. He fought all over the world.
Well, he become Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, but I compare Anthony Joshua to Cassius Clay because
Before he became Muhammad Ali.
Before he became Muhammad Ali, that's two different fighters, two different styles. This guy reminds me of Cassius Clay.
Wow. I'll bet you had a lot of arguments. I want to see that shit.
Yeah, I get a lot of arguments, and I put on Facebook last year that I thought he was one of the top 6 heavyweights of all time, and I took some heat on that.
Well, you like that. How many people replied to it? 600.
About that.
That's why I don't even put yes or no on there anymore. I don't answer.
Sometimes I put your name out
I
there.
don't want to blow up my
trying
feed.
to pull you in. I'm trying to pull you in.
You're not sucking me in. I don't go with that.
That hits a lot of your feed when I do that, huh?
I know. My phone blows up. Look, I got 84 things from Smoking Jim. I don't want that. I just want to do my loose leaf green tea weather report. That's all. But
Or
no.
did that take off or what?
Yeah, it's popular every day. People
I've been
like
drinking
that.
a cup of tea a day.
I know, but you're drinking your daughter's tea.
Yeah.
The green tea's healthier for you.
That ain't green tea?
No.
One is Serenity I've been drinking.
Yeah, I
The
don't
first
know.
batch I liked better was something else. It was in a
You
it
need
was in
the
a black
Talking
can.
Machine green tea. You
Yeah.
can get it at Tupelo Honey Teas in Millvale.
I gotta support family.
It only costs $7. You can get it. It's good tea. I created it.
Oh,
Yeah, my green tea.
what's it good for?
It's good for your health and sinus infections, keep you healthy.
What's it? I
Yeah.
can get that out. That way I can get 2 cups a day. Because I got a cup. The cup that Rachel gave me, or Billy. Is it Rachel or Billy?
Rachel.
Rachel. The cup that Rachel gave me for my birthday, I drink my tea out of that every
Dude.
day.
But you don't know whether it's black tea, green tea.
Well, there's something, but I don't know. I didn't study up on it. But I may get your tea.
Well,
your
I got
tea's only
green tea.
$7.
Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper. A lot cheaper. But I can get a cup of your tea a day.
Yeah.
And a cup of her tea a day. That's
Right.
2 cups. That ain't gonna hurt me, right?
No, it'll help you, along
Yeah.
with the baking soda and the water. You
Man,
stop doing
nothing,
that.
Nothing comes between me and my baking soda water, brother. Why you think I'm so healthy?
I don't want to even ask how you are.
And Jody's gonna have me. Jody's my my healthy relation. What you call it?
Healthier, happier you.
Happy. She's my healthier, happier you.
She's not like Bethany.
Well, the best ability is availability.
Yeah.
Bethany is all over the world, but Jody's getting me on yogurt for bad bacteria, good bacteria.
Good bacteria.
So she's getting me on that.
I've known about that for 40 years.
Well, I knew that. I used to watch your show, but I don't know which one to get.
You don't need the ones all filled with colored and sugar and stuff like that.
What I need?
You need the natural
I
yogurt
need,
that they
I
make.
need a little fruit in there. Can I get a little fruit in there to mix
You could
up?
put a little bit.
No, I mean, does it come on? The fruit's already in it.
Some you can get it without fruit and just get the yogurt.
Does it still taste good?
It doesn't taste as good as the fruit,
Oh man, I like my fruit in there, brother.
but you need the healthy yogurt with all 1 million or billions of bacteria.
That's what I need.
Yeah, you need that
Well,
to
give
help
me a
your
brand.
system.
Do I get it at Giant Eagle? I gotta go to Whole Foods.
Yeah, you could go to both places. Got them.
They got them.
Yeah.
Well,
Just ask them. Say, I want some natural yogurt.
I'll take Jody with me. Make sure I'm getting the right stuff, man. That yogurt could be tricky, man.
All you do is ask for natural yogurt. That's how simple it is, buddy. It's like betting college basketball.
Wow. Now, do
Simple
you
as
take
that.
any protein or anything, or vitamins or anything like that still?
I'm off of all that stuff right now because I'm doing so well.
You don't need that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, my D level's at 70, which 80
What's a
is the
D level?
best.
You bragging?
And every cell,
You bragging?
yeah, and your body needs D3 in every cell to function properly.
Really?
Yeah, and if you don't get sun tans and stuff like that, you need to take supplements of D3. You
Wow.
can start taking D3.
Oh, Dan Bogan been getting some sun, huh?
No, no, he doesn't. He needs some sun. And I can't get sun anymore, but my D level's high with the new kidney, so I'm healthier now than I was before.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's good.
Well, I want to be healthier now.
You need help. I've tried bringing people on the show like Jody and Bethany and others. We've tried to teach you. We got people in the gyms say, come on out. Taleo Performance, you can go there and work out there.
But look what I do.
The
now.
owner just won a strongman contest, John Dennis.
He's a beast.
Yeah, he just won a strongman
Wow,
event.
That's
Yeah,
good.
#1. Yeah, so
Good Pittsburgh
good karma.
Sports Sign karma.
Come back to get him.
But you got to give me credit. I drink a cup of tea a day with a teaspoon of natural honey.
Yeah, but do you get your honey locally? Because if
I'm
you get
Walmart.
no,
ain't no more local than that. That's right up the street, brother.
here I'm at Reginald's Coffee. You know I got a story. I'm drinking a pot of my green tea,
Okay.
and there's nowhere to sit. So this guy goes, "Here, you can sit with me." And one of the owners goes, "This guy talks more than you." And I said, "Well, I'd be honored to sit here." And he goes, "Yeah, sit here." So we started talking. He started talking. He was out talking to me. And we talked about honey, local honey. You need local honey so it helps build your system up, because the local honey from the bees is all from local plants around here, and it's better for you.
Okay.
So he goes, I get local honey. It's Swopes, Berries and Bees, Swopes, SWOPES. It's a brand, like
Okay.
Stout, STOUDT. Like Fraser, FRA, whatever. So he goes, I'll get you a jar of that honey. So a week or so later, I go, did Mark drop it off? He goes, yeah, you don't owe him anything. He bought me a jar of honey. I take a tablespoon a day, and it's good for you. It builds up your system, makes you healthier.
You take it with your tea, or you just take it?
Separate. I just eat it. Yeah, and it's
Straight
good.
honey.
Straight honey. It's good.
Wow.
Yeah, see, you're an amateur. We got to work on you. Yeah, I put nothing in my tea.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
nothing in it.
Wow.
Just drink it straight up.
But that honey's good for you in the tea.
No, it's good for me to eat.
It's good for you to. Now, is that hard honey or is it liquid?
It's liquid.
Wow.
I just scoop it out, get a tablespoon,
Where can I get some of that?
Swopes.
Where's that?
Google it. SWOPS. It's in Avella, PA.
Oh, I know where Avella is.
Well,
There's
then you could
there's
find
a small
it.
high school. They got 13 players on their football team.
Well, then you can find the honey place right there. They have a farm nearby.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We might
fun.
have to make a road trip out there.
Let's go. I'm ready to go.
We'll have to do that. After we hit Peters Township, then we'll head down the road. Definitely.
Wow. That's amazing.
So what do you think the Steelers are going to do against Baltimore?
Well, Pittsburgh Steelers going to beat Baltimore. Houston will beat
Because you know
Tennessee.
RG3's playing.
Well, RG
Yeah.
I predicted would be an NFL bust.
You
and
were
he
right.
Was. I said that when he was coming out of school, he reminded me of Cordell Stewart. He's a guy that every quarterback gets criticism. It's those that can handle it. RG3, I knew, was like Cordell Stewart. As soon as he started getting criticism for the first time in his life, was going to whittle like a flower, and that's what he ended up doing. Even his wife left him and took.
You're kidding. I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, no, she took all the money.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, so at least he's still in the league.
Yeah.
But
And he'll be starting.
yeah, so he'll be no match for the Duck.
Straight up.
Duck will be backed up by Paxton Lynch, former first-round draft choice, who's 6'5", 6'6". I got Ben. He got the same arm Ben got right now, the noodle.
Does he?
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to that.
Yeah,
He might be in the game.
Yeah, if he gets in the game, all bets are off. But I think the Houston will beat. J.J. Watt is practicing right now. And don't forget his brother, T.J. Watt, will be Steeler MVP. I'm predicting that now for this season.
Really?
I'm not going out on a stretch. He'll be league MVP, defensive MVP, and a Steeler MVP. J.J. Watt is practicing now. He had the same torn pectoral muscle that one play a game Tuitt had, and you see Tuitt is sitting out for the year, and J.J.
he's
Watt
brittle.
is coming back. He's brittle. So,
He looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane.
But here's the thing. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers goes in the playoffs, wins their wild card game. Guess who they play in the second round?
I don't know.
They go back to Baltimore, and I tell you what, Harbaugh will be shaking in his boots because he's going to have to figure out a way to stop the Duck.
Smoking
the quack
Jim.
attack.
I'm starting to feel like this is you talking about Cleveland. Sorry to say, I'm a big fan of the Steelers, but the bubble with the Duck has burst. He doesn't look as confident. He looked a little shaky.
Did you see some of them throws he was making?
There were a few,
Awesome.
but I saw a bunch of ones he missed. What was his QB rating? You won't even say that because it was low.
It was a little low, but it will pick up.
Yeah.
It
I'm
was-
glad
it was-
you're an optimist
It
about
was as
things you
low as-
believe in.
It was low as Dak Prescott and some of them other ones, Kirk Cousins. It was just like that.
Oh, okay.
They come this week.
So we're looking for a W. I'll go with Smoking Jim. We win. We're in it to win it. Thanks for watching our show. We appreciate that. Thanks for all our likes on our Facebook page. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody that's a fan or friend of ours. And stay Joey strong.